Hello and welcome, casters, to Let's Talk MetaZoo. What do you think of the new intro? I tried to add some of the new art to it.
No, it's good, bro. It's good. It's good. I
My
like it.
goal is, as we start getting more, I want to add more to it. I'm really kind of fond of the Cryptid Nation part, though, so I'm probably going to keep that. But yeah, I want to add more stuff as we get it. But I was excited about that last night, man, putting that together.
No, I like the idea of changing it as we go along as well.
How is everybody doing today, though? Welcome to our second broadcast of 2025. I'm kind of excited that we had enough news this past week to do another short broadcast. We do have a hard out of an hour, so this will be one of our shorter episodes. But once again, I have the fabulous, the amazing Dean from the Hobby Podcast. How are you, my man?
Good morning, my friend. Good morning.
We kind of switched it up from what we did last time. Last time I woke up at 5 a.m. Eastern time, and I think it was like 9:30 your time or so. And so this time
Yes.
he woke up super early, and it's like 1 p.m. here Eastern time. So my dude just woke up. Everybody give him a round of applause. Thank you. I appreciate you doing it. We got to try to find a nice way, a nice good time for us to actually works for both Australia and the East Coast.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
But yeah, we got a good amount of stuff to actually talk about today, though.
Mhm.
The first thing that I want to actually bring up and discuss is the booster box. To give some sort of a brief rundown on how we actually found this, it was posted on eBay last week by an Italian seller. And basically, this is the first look we have at the new booster box. I'm going to pull it up real quick. Uh, I,
I was so jazzed when I saw it. I love it.
I was not expecting to see this box probably for at least another solid week or two.
Mm.
And first off, the first big thing, the first big takeaway that I got from it was not just the box, but the fact that Italy had pre-orders up. So
Hmm.
that told me that they had finalized or at least found a European distributor. So in my eyes, that means that they have the US, they have Australia, and now they probably have Europe as well, distribution wise. I don't know why, because you haven't seen anything on any distribution in Australia yet, have you?
Not yet. As soon as I saw that booster box, I called my distro and jumped on the site. I was like, "Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?" But
Um, I don't know, and this was something that actually Charlie had talked about when the booster box first went live inside the Discord. He was talking about how specific, and this was specifically for the U.S. distributors. So I would imagine if you haven't gotten in for it yet, it's probably for Australia too, but I don't know. But he was talking about how Meta 2 doesn't want to exclude any online or e-commerce stores only, and they're getting the distributors to work with them to be able to include them. Um, and that might be one of the reasons why we haven't actually seen anything US wise yet. So I'm still thinking we're probably going to get that info probably within like a week or two. I want to imagine just because if it already hit Europe, then it's probably only a matter of time before it actually hits Australia and the United States.
yeah, for sure.
Um, but yeah, it's showing up in Italy first though. That just, in my opinion, that was huge because it actually showed the global reach. Because we already knew about the Australian distributor, but that just showed like they're really trying to make this a more global thing than the old admin. Because I don't think old Zoo had a distributor in Australia or in Europe even. I'm not positive though.
No, they did. They had one. They had one in Australia the first time around, but
Okay.
it was just horrible. Whereas this time around, M2 is with the biggest distributor in Australia, so they've gone the better path. So it should be a better experience. But yeah, we'll see how we go.
Did you actually before did you use the distributor in Australia before, or did you just get it directly sent to you?
I used the distributor for Nightfall
Okay.
and maybe Wilderness, and then after that, I became a partner, so I got everything direct.
Okay. 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 Um,
Because the distribution was so bad, I had no choice but to become a partner.
really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was one of the like main reasons you became a partner. I thought it was like for the discount and other stuff like that that they offered the
Oh,
partnership, but I didn't
and I
realize it was
mentioned it last
distribution.
time. Like Nightfall, for example, that was a Halloween set that dropped in the US, and we didn't get it
Hmm.
here till February.
Yeah, I
And I
remember
was
you
like,
saying that. That's crazy. And
when I
that was the
met Mike,
distributor.
yeah, when I met Mike, I said to him, I was like, bruh, if you want your game to grow in Australia, this ain't the road because that ain't gonna work.
Um, but yeah, the booster box. It honestly shows us a lot.
Yeah, put it
It
up. I want to
kind
see
of
it. I miss it. Put the picture up. I want to look at
no,
it.
I just threw it back up. It's I'm assuming that the 4 pack arts are going to be the 4 beasties that we actually see on the front, which I have a closer picture of that. You can see that it's Bird, Bigfoot, Mothman, and the one that I got really excited about was that I am confident that that is Sun Wukong.
Yeah, I think so. It looks like it.
Uh,
I've been sent images of that cryptid, and I'm like, yeah, I can see the similarities.
and like that, in my opinion, is huge because Sun Wukong is one of the very few Chinese literary characters that most non-Chinese people can actually they know who it is. You have the
Hmm.
whole story of Journey to the West. You have countless TV shows and movies and stuff that were based off of the character of Sun Wukong. Dragon Ball Z, Goku was actually based off of Sun Wukong. I mean, like that's huge. You also have the game Black Sun Wukong that just came out last year, which was like the number 1 game for a couple months. So like the reach that that's going to have because of it being Sun Wukong being involved is crazy. On top of that too, it shows that M2 isn't afraid to use some characters that like people hold very like, dear and revere. So like, cause that is one that like you can't make fun of. That is one that you can't just like do whatever you want. You have to be respectful with. And so
Mm.
that is exciting, I feel too, because if they're not afraid to touch on like Sun Wukong, for example, there are so many different like mythical characters that they can actually pull from, like mythical gods, even from like older pantheons, Roman, German, things like that, that they can pull from and still do it in a respectful way. Like I, plus I had the whole theory that that was Sun Wukong, so that actually felt really good to actually have a theory and be like, haha, look, I still got it, haha. Um, the only pack art, I should say, we really see is this one, which looks to be like a variation, maybe of Sun Wukong. I'm
No,
not
it has
sure.
to be for sure. It has to
It
be.
does it does look different though than what you see right here.
Yeah, it
Okay.
does, but the colors somewhat match. Like it looks like you can see a sword there on that right
Yeah,
side and out the left.
and like I mean, you still have. I mean, I don't know. The colors it just looks different. So I don't know if that's like what the idea is with that. If that is actually our Sun Wukong from the box or not. But it does look resemble like a monkey to me. Uh, the other big thing that was on it was this guy, which a lot of people thought was Bigfoot, and I don't think it is because if you look at the Bigfoot there and then you compare it to the Bigfoot that's right there, that's not. I don't think that's Bigfoot. That might honestly be, and I know this is going to sound weird, that might be hide behind. That was the first initial thought that I had when I saw it because of the old artwork of him hiding behind a tree. Like that's what hide behind was in Cryptid Nation, and it is
Mm.
a Sasquatch. So I don't know. I don't know. That's just throwing it out there, but I don't think that's Bigfoot. And I know there has been speculation of people talking about like item cards and stuff like that. I don't think that's like Bigfoot in armor either, because that was another big theory that was kind of being floated around in the Discord. But I don't again like that and that. The arm color is the same, but that's about it, really, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The one thing I really like, and where's the image? Because I had it, I made sure to upload it because I wanted to do a side by side comparison, but I might have to re-upload the image. Doesn't look like I have it. I I know there was a lot of people talking about how they're like, oh, it reminds me of the old booster box. And I agree, it does remind me of the old booster box, but it's still slightly different. I
It
really,
doesn't
really,
remind me of the old booster box. Yes, it's red. That's about it.
well, if you actually have like, I mean, if you compare the two, it actually does look like they use some of the same color schemes. But I'm not upset about that though,
There's no
because
green
it
on
is a
there, is
nice.
there?
Do what?
Is it green? Put it up again. I'm just looking at one
Mm,
over there. I mean,
no,
I didn't
you're
draw
right. There is
any.
no green on the new one. That's right. That's right. I'm
I
pulling
didn't
up.
draw any
I'm trying to
similarity
see.
other than the fact that it was a red box. I was like,
Well, the blue and the white specifically, and I honestly, personally loved that because it seemed like it was a new take on it, but there were nods to Retro Zoo. And like I am one where I am all about them reinventing, figuring stuff out, redesigning things that they have to, whatever, using the different mediums and everything. But I absolutely love callbacks to the Retro Zoo, which I have seen in some of the artworks that have been presented already. And it just, the booster box I thought was really exciting. It pops. It actually, I feel like you're actually going to see it on the shelf. And we talked about this last time too. It's funny that Pokemon right now is having so many problems with keeping stuff on the shelf. And I promise you that when people go into an LGS or other thing like that and they actually can't find Pokemon product, but they see that booster box, they're going to buy packs. Like that is going to catch their eye. And some people are trying to say, oh, it's too close to Pokemon, or it's too whimsical, or it's too comical. And again, let MetaZoo figure out exactly where their lane is that they actually want to go. This is the first time we've actually seen a booster box. Look at all of the different iterations that MetaZoo went with, like original MetaZoo went with. So I love the callback to where MetaZoo started with Cryptid Nation with the original MetaZoo group and how they're kind of moving forward with it. Like I love the booster box. I'm excited. I want a clear picture though, because the only
yeah, so
picture we have right now is the eBay one.
I don't
And
even want to pick. I just want it. I want it in my hand right now.
I just it's interesting to me just that like I never thought I said this last time. I never thought we'd get another Midazu product, and I can't believe we're sitting here 6 weeks away, 7 weeks away from a new set. Like I can't I still don't honestly fully believe it because
Yeah.
I didn't think we would get anything new. So I saw this. Like I said, I want a clear picture. The only one we've been able to actually see so far is the slightly blurry one, which it looks kind of clear here, but if you zoom in to get some more detail, it looks kind of blurry. And it's the same one that's been circulating around on eBay. Like I said, I feel we will actually get U.S. and Australia based distribution information at least within 2 weeks, um, based off of that one coming out last week. So I don't know. I'm excited for the booster box. You guys in the comments, let us know what you actually think. I know there's been a lot of mixed reviews with it, um, but like I said, I love the callback to Retro Zoo and kind of showing a transition to New Zoo.
It's a win
That
for me.
really,
Massive win. I love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it. I think it looks
uh,
perfect. I wouldn't change a thing. I mean, even the Bigfoot artwork on there isn't what we're used to,
mm-hmm,
but I actually like the way it looks. The more I see it, the more you sort of become akin to that direction. So,
mm-hmm.
it's fair that some people are like, oh, I don't like this or I don't like that, or it looks this way initially. But I think the more you see it, the more you'll learn to love it. It's just the way
Bigfoot
it
was
is.
definitely one of the controversial points on it. A lot of
And the
people,
Mothman looks sick.
Mothman looks just like, in my opinion, it well not just like, but it looks very similar to the Nightfall top stuff. Like it's but the Bigfoot specifically, like you said, was very different from what we've seen before. as a Bigfoot representation in MetaZoo. I know this is a hot take, and I know I've gotten a lot of heat for it already because I was talking about it in the Discord. I personally was never really a big fan of any of the old Bigfoot artwork. My favorite one is probably the one from Wilderness that Chet did.
Yeah,
But I
which
was
which
never.
is close to this one.
It is closer. The face is still furry in that one. But
Yeah.
I was never a big Bigfoot art fan, to be honest with you. Like
Mm, mm.
the the Pin Club one, which is another, was a throwaway set. The Pin Club one I thought was better, honestly, than the Cryptid Nation one. Um, I don't know. So that is, in my opinion, I think that is an improvement.
See, the thing
And
about art,
somebody,
bro, it's
well,
subjective.
somebody in the
You know what I mean?
Discord also said at one point that maybe they made that design choice of keeping the face clear, so you could actually get more facial expressions from it. And I was
Yeah.
like, that makes sense. Like, there's definitely a reason why they kind of transitioned Bigfoot away from just big furry all fur monster to more of what it is
Mm.
now. I'm a Smallfoot fan, thanks TMX. So yeah, that's the booster box. You got anything else you want to add before we move on?
Nah, just I need it.
I need it. He needs it in his hands. Um, all right, so I did not come prepared, so let me go over here real quick to this. I want to talk about the first of the two official spoiler art that we got this week. One was the Lava Bear, and this is by a new artist named Angel Moonlight. I think this is a million times better than the original one.
Yeah, I like it.
And I want to preface that too with I'm not, whenever I say that I actually like the new art over the old stuff, I'm not at all trying to say that the old art is bad either. Like, it will have a special place in my heart. Retro Zoo will always have a special place in my heart. I will never stop loving Retro Zoo, even with new MetaZoo. But my big thing with the channel, with everything I've done with MetaZoo, has always been about the story. It's always been about the lore of the actual story, the cards, the universe, everything like that. And every single one of the pieces of artwork that I've actually seen has come out with some sort of a story. Um, like this one right here, if you look at the old one versus the new one, this has so much more detail.
See, I
It's
would
crazy.
disagree with Josh in the chat. I would say that's wrong, brother. I feel like old art, while some of it was really, really cool, that was soulless. I feel like the new art actually tells a story and draws me in and keeps me more intrigued as to, what else is to come. That's not to say that all of it was soulless, but if you think the new art is soulless, I'm the opposite side of that coin. If I
I
was
mean,
going to make a statement like that, it would be the other way around.
but and that's the
But
thing.
I'm
He
not.
just responded with, "It looks like digital art." That's okay. I mean, there's nothing honestly wrong with digital art. And
But
the
we've
thing is,
seen both. We've seen both.
we've seen
We,
a
we, we
lot of
know there's
different.
going to be watercolor as well, which is awesome
Mhm.
because they are giving you some of what you deem to have soul, and then some of what maybe I deem to have soul. So I love that direction. Whereas last time it was a hard and fast line. This is the way it is. This time we've already seen. We've got different strokes for different blokes.
Nice little art pun there. Um, we did get another tease though, about gameplay because they've been really hush hush with gameplay. We don't really know
Mm.
how it's really going to operate. I still think we're a solid 2 to 3, maybe even 4 weeks away before getting any sort of real gameplay explanation. But they did before with the Billy Whack and Hodag art. They did basically they talked about face to face mechanic, which I'm assuming is forcing two cryptids to fight. This right here with Lava Bear, though, they actually talked about lanes. And I'll read the actual, it says, this fire or a cryptid card. Here, let me pull it back up. Boom. This
Yeah,
fire
nice.
or a cryptid card is sure to be a hot topic in competitive play. When played, Lava Bear destroys the Terra or environment in its lane, allowing for some explosive combos. That's the first we've actually gotten any word about. the gameplay being lane gameplay. And to be honest with you, I'm not fully familiar with gameplay TCG card wise that's lane based. I'm more like the lane gameplay I'm used to is like Dota or like Heroes of the Storm, things like that, where you have specific lanes as a character you're going down or taking care of. So I'm not entirely sure what that means, how many lanes, anything like that.
It could also
I'm
just
like
be a keyword that we're reading into too much.
that's true. It's extremely true. Old Zoo had a form of lanes, but they were crisscross. Okay, I kind of see that. I would say the big difference TMX is that with old Zoo, you could place anything almost anywhere in on in play. So like that honestly is something that is kind of crazy to me. Flight Spear.
You could potentially
Oh, I
have
see what you're saying. Oh, you're saying
yeah.
like Burrow and stuff were like was like lane
This is what I
gameplay.
was saying. I feel like TMX might be onto it. This is what I was thinking. I feel like it's a word that because we don't know anything about it, it
Okay.
sounds maybe more exotic than it actually is.
Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, I want to know more about the gameplay, and like I said, we probably won't get
Because
it
you
for
could
another
you
couple
might
of
you
years.
might have like above ground, like underground, and in the air, and those would
Oh,
be
that would be
classified as like lanes.
so like aerial or like ground. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
you
an
remember
interesting
how we had
take.
like flying and stuff like that. Like it could be just as simple as that, which it probably is.
Usually lanes are limited to how many cards in a row. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, like I said, I'm not familiar with lane play when it comes to TCG, so I'm very interested to get more information and actually see how the game is actually played.
I can't wait
Um,
to get some
well,
gameplay info.
the fact that they actually used Terra, even if they're like Lava Bear destroys the Terra or environment, it's like it seems like they are incorporating some of the old aspects, which I know was one of the big things that people were scared of was that it was just going to be a completely new game with no sort of resemblance at all whatsoever to do with Old Zoo, and it is going to be completely different with it being lane based, I guess, but I don't know. I don't know. The whole idea of them actually using the terras and stuff like that's exciting to me.
Yeah,
He says there's a ton of games that use it. It makes sense to be able to port to an app or another system. That makes sense too. Actually, being able to turn it into an mobile game in order to be able to move forward. So that's kind of cool. And that I guess that way too, they wouldn't have to um, kind of like. Well, I don't know. It kind of like that reminds me of the what is it the Pokemon TCG game that just came out on mobile a couple
TCG
months ago or
Pocket.
so. Yeah, where it's Pokemon, but it's different in a way still too.
It's just like
So
short version.
yeah, like a shorter, easier version. So like I kind of hope there is a mobile app for this, which we'll actually get. Funny enough, we'll get to it something like that in a bit. If there is some sort of mobile app eventually that comes into play with it, I hope that it is the same as the card gameplay. It isn't they don't modify it like kind of like how the Pokemon TCG Go or whatever that app is. Because that
Yeah.
was one thing I've kind of noticed is that they switched that up. Um, all right, so the next one actually, funny enough, talking about watercolor. Boom, we have this right here, which I'll be honest, might be my favorite spoiler that they've shown. Um, this is Raiju. This was done by the amazing Kelsey Giacchino. Uh, I'm in love with this. I even messaged her and I was like, this might be my favorite artwork that you have ever done. Um, Raiju is he's a thunder dragon. He is the companion to Rajin, which is the Shinto god of thunder. And yeah, everything about this piece of art, I'm in love with.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Like I said, whilst I'm so excited about some of the newer aspects of where MetaZoo is going this time, it is still awesome to see things like that.
Creepy Clay actually has a really good question. Would you rather see full art cards like Pokemon has, or like the old MetaZoo with the art on the upper half and the text under? Personally, I think there's a lot they could do with full art cards. Like especially like the way how like there's especially like the illustrator rares, I guess, like Pokemon has or whatnot, where it's the full artwork with the text and everything over the cards. There is a lot they could do with that. I was always kind of confused on why old admin had such apprehension to do full art cards. It never really fully clicked, except for they didn't want to be what Pokemon does or anything like that. But like every TCG does full art cards, I think. So I don't know. It never that never really made sense to me. I would love for them to have full art cards. Like I would love
I'd
for them
like
to
to
have.
see a mix of both, like what Pokemon does. A little bit of
Well,
both. Never hurt
you
anybody.
you could tell such like again going back to the story. You could tell such a story with a full length of a card. Like instead of just having this with just the art, if you had all of it on like, and I know people are like, oh, that's not that much room or anything, but I'm like, there's so much more detail you can add when you're not worried about the constraint of it being cut off because of the effect of the card or the words or the name or the border or anything like that. Like there's way more freedom to it, in my opinion, I feel. So yeah, I personally would love to see full art cards, but I'm gonna be quiet and let you talk for a minute.
No, no, I agree. I think both has a place. I think both really, really does have a place.
Um, all right, so that was Raiju. Again, this oh no, that's Lava Bear. Again, Raiju, I'm absolutely in love with. I cannot wait to actually see that on an actual card. Um, the next thing that I have, unless you have anything else that you want to add about Raiju,
No, sir.
is all right. It's the and this happened recently, like in the last day and a half. But somebody went onto the Discord and was upset because they couldn't actually modify decks anymore on the old MPN app or website. If you don't know, the MPN stands for MetaZoo Play Network. It's what the old administration used in order to allow the community and itself to set actual games, tournaments, meetups, things like that. You could use it as a sanctioned thing in order to qualify for towers. You could use it as a way of putting together a tournament for a convention, things like that. It was a pretty cool tool, to be honest with you. And I even asked you, Dean, before we started. You even used it in Australia, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, the MPN was actually it wasn't just a North America thing. But when MetaZoo ceased operations over those couple months or so, the MPN kind of like it stopped showing names. It still kind of functioned, but it wasn't what it was. But people could still use it to make old retro zoo decks. They could still, so they had like deck lists and things like that. They could share them. Well, a couple days ago, we found out there was no longer possible for us to go in and actually make decks on the MPN. And like we were like, well, that's kind of odd because we didn't have any word, I guess, that M2 was using the old MPN. And come to find out, the reason why that the you stopped being able to make decks on it was because I'm guessing they're messing with the MPN in order for like preparation of being able to potentially use it with the new base set because you can't see any cards. I mean, you can't modify any decks. You can't build any new decks. You can't see any cards or anything like that. All of that is actually is hidden right now, which is new. The crazy thing was though was that I can't remember who it was, but somebody in the Discord actually went and was like, "Yo, you guys need to go and check out the PFPs from your avatar selection on the MPN." And so we did, and there were like 15 different PFPs that were all new art, and we're gonna go through and look at them. Um, the crazy thing is that if you kept scrolling, you could see that there were like 60 plus underneath these that wouldn't render, like the link was broken or whatever. So like, and I'm actually kind of happy about that because like this would have been a huge, huge art dump, honestly, because there are some on this PFP list that we have not seen the art
Mm.
spoiled for or anything. But I take this as actual real MetaZoo art because it was on the MPN. They had to have updated it at some point. So just going through them, I'm like, and that's the thing is, I don't know if the website is working anymore, but I know the app is still up. If you have the old app, I don't know if you can download the old app anymore. But I'm these got me really really excited because
Yeah.
again, this is artwork that we haven't seen before. Starting up at the top left, I'm assuming that's Jersey Devil. Um, we'll go through. I'll go through and name all of them. I think for right now, and then we'll go
Jersey
through
Dead
and
would be
actually talk
my
about it.
guess. That would be my guess. That's kind of what it looks like.
Jersey Devil, Lava Bear, and Sun Wukong. The one on the bottom left, I'm not sure. It reminds me of some sort of maybe like a phoenix, but I don't know. Besides
Yeah.
that is Quetzalcoatlus, and then you have the snake that we've actually seen. But four out of those six arts are new. So like that's what I was saying. Like this was a huge art dump. This leak right here. Um, I know that the Jersey Devil looks more digital, which is something that has been kind of like turning off a lot of people lately. But again, same thing like I said with the Bigfoot art. I think that is way better than the Cryptid Nation art. Now, my favorite Jersey Devil of all time is Jet Yates from
Yeah.
CryptidCon. Like I don't have it with me. I have it. It's over there actually in a plastic case because like that is my favorite Jersey Devil art of all time. I'll post a picture of it or something on Instagram later on the day if anybody wants to actually see it if they haven't. But I, again, really feel like this is a good improvement from the old Jersey Devil. The old Jersey Devil from Cryptid Nation looked, in my opinion, very 2D. It was very two dimensional, very flat. So any sort of, and that's the thing, kind of like we keep seeing a reoccurring theme is that really all of the artwork that we've seen, specifically from Cryptid Nation Beasties, I feel has been an improvement, and that kind of just goes to show the difference in 5 6 years as well too. You can kind of see the transformation of the artwork from Cryptid Nation to Nightfall to Wilderness to like UFO forward. Kind of actually takes more of a different feeling than the original older sets. It almost kind of sets up a little bit of like nostalgia for the older sets, specifically like Cryptid Nation and Nightfall, specifically because those artworks are probably the two closest out of all of the sets, if that makes any sense, in my opinion.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um, and so you can see how the artwork has changed and evolved over the 5 6 sets that old admin actually gave us. And like I said, I really feel like the Jersey Devil's an improvement. What is it?
Nah,
Creepy
like
Clay says the Black Friday promo Jersey Devil from Kelsey is the best in my opinion. That is a solid one. Yes, I will. I will say that. And you know what? Actually, here, entertain people for 30 seconds. I'll be right back. I want to go get that art.
I would agree that I think some of the Black Friday artwork was like it was almost like it was their way of going out because it was like one of the last products we got right, and all of the artwork from the Black Friday promos I absolutely loved.
Okay. Oh my God. All right. So yeah, this, in my opinion, like I said, I think this is the best Jersey Devil rendition we ever got.
That's
I
wild.
was so blown away when I saw Jet at Crypticon in 2022. I think it was. This is it's just like oh my God. Like all right, I'm not even setting it down. I'm gonna go put it back over there. I'll be right back.
That's pretty
Bro, you don't
wild though. You know, that's
understand.
actually that's the first time I've seen that. That is the first time I've
It,
seen that.
I'll take a clear picture and, like I said, post it on Instagram or so. But like, that's my favorite Jersey Devil art. Um, And so I can appreciate this. And the other thing, I want to see the rest of the body. I'm very very interested, especially in Jersey Devil, just because of how the cryptid itself is described. I really want to see how the rest of it actually looks. Um, Lava Bear, we are there. We've already gotten the next one. I I'm not entirely sure how to fully digest this next one. It looks like it's Sun Wukong, but you can't really see it unless you zoom in. There are like three or four other Wukongs behind him. So I
Yeah.
don't know if that is a I don't know if that is actually a card for Sun Wukong, or if that's like it might be like a spell card or something. Because that's the thing, we don't really know what any of these arts are for either. We don't know if they're specific for cryptid cards or specific for any sort of the different effects. I guess the new game has like we don't know. Like some of these actually could just be
They
standalone
could
art.
be, yeah, they could just be advertising art as well.
Yeah. Some of it could be like advertising artwork. Like we don't know where the source, I guess you could say, of some of this artwork is. Um, the one on the bottom left, honestly, in my opinion, is one of the ones that has the least story to it. I mean, it's honestly just a firebird with like a cross on it. That definitely would need more context for to be able to really be able to tell anything with it. Like I said, first looks at it, I thought maybe Phoenix, but like I don't know, to be completely honest. And to be honest, it's honestly the one out of the 15 that I probably like the least. Um, I don't know. What do you think of the Firebird?
I mean, it could just be the Firebird.
Oh, that's fair. I actually hadn't thought about that. It could just be a Firebird.
It could be
Um,
that sort of, it could be that simple.
the
Because
next one I know
there's
was
obviously.
what?
No, you're right. You go. You go. You go.
No, no. What were you gonna say? Say it.
No.
Never trust an Australian. And he got quiet. All right. Well, Dean thinks it's a Firebird. I don't really. I'm not entirely sure. Like I said, it's probably the one that I like the least out of all of the PFPs that we saw. The next one I know though was a big one that people were excited for, and this was Quetzalcoatlus. Again, I want to see all of it. I don't want to see just the face. I want to see the wings. I want to see the claws. But it's nice to actually know that Quetzalcoatlus hasn't gone anywhere because we're still kind of figuring out exactly what cryptids they're going to pull from the old set and from Cryptid Nation, blah blah blah, and all that. So it's nice to see Quetzalcoatlus there because Quetzalcoatlus, in my opinion, was such a staple, not just for not just for gameplay, but also as like a favorite beastie of the community. Quetzalcoatlus was like at least in the top 10, I would say. You got to excuse Dean. It's 5:30 in the morning over there. He's still waking up drinking his coffee.
It is. It is. It is early.
uh, um, and then the last one on there was Snipe, which we've already seen that. We've actually seen two different artworks spoiled for Snipe. So we won't go over that one because we talked about it last time. Moving on to the next six. Some of these we've actually seen, but the majority of them, like again, four out of the six we have not seen. The first two we have that is Jet Yates and her Drop Bear. The one next to that is Flashlight Frog that Poncho did. It's a new version of Flashlight Frog. The next one was like the next two, honestly, were huge. Flatwoods and Hodag. Um, the the Flatwoods looks awesome in my opinion. It
Oh,
really it kind of like I don't know if anybody's ever had a chance to go to the Flatwoods Museum in West Virginia. Next time I go out and actually see my in-laws out there, I want to actually go out to the museum and do another video like I did for the Mothman Festival, but for Flatwoods, kind of go over the entire story of it. And that honestly, that artwork of Flatwoods is very that the whole light coming up from underneath, shining on the sides of it, and its chin, the big glowing white eyes, the menacing presence. Like we don't see much of that, like of the artwork of Flatwoods, but you can feel that presence of Flatwoods just from that artwork. Like the
oh yeah.
I don't want to say the. it's basically towering over you like that. I'm really interested to see the full one of that. And that Hodag, I think, is one of the best ones out of the stuff that was leaked. Um, I like how there's like an anime tint
There
to
is.
the. There's like a small anime tint to the Hodag one, and I don't know. Again, that Hodag, honestly, I have. Do I have one? No, I don't have one here with me. I thought I had one close to me. Hodag, honestly, was one of the ones, the artwork from Cryptid Nation, that I didn't fully mind. I actually think that was a good, like a better rendition of Hodag. I liked I liked the grittier version, I guess, more than like what we saw from the postcard, like the Christmas postcard.
I
But
feel like
I
Hodag in Retro Zoo was very mid.
okay. Well, I mean, I don't.
Is what I think. I feel like the couple of artworks you've got for Hodag now appeals more to me than it ever did before. I like the sort of direction it is now.
See, I would say the opposite. I actually like the older artwork of Hodag versus like the Christmas print that was sent out. But this version of Hodag, that's the PFP, I like more than Retro Zoo, if that makes sense. Like, I'm glad that we have a couple because there's specifically somebody said Revive Hodag art is that Revive the Revive one. That's what I'm saying. There's some really good, especially later on, artwork of Hodag, but and the first print of the Christmas print really it reminded me of like Hiromi's Carnival a little bit, with, specifically with the Hodag part. Like it was cheerful and it was nice. This just hits hard to me though. Like this might be like my favorite Hodag representation now. And again,
Yeah,
we're only seeing the head. We're not seeing the full horns or the rest of the body or anything else like that. So with these PFP artworks, I'm really interested to see the rest of the artscape, the landscape, what's around them, the environment, everything. Because like I'm really interested to see where they're going with that. Any final thoughts on Hodag? Besides, it is amazing, and I want to know who did the art.
nah, I froth it. I love it.
All right. Next up, I'm assuming this one is Hopkinsville Goblin.
It has to
Um,
be.
it's the only thing I could think of it. I could think it would be. I think that this is a good rendition of it. I didn't have a problem with the old way that the Hopkinsville Goblin was actually represented, but this like I actually like how this has a little bit kind of more detail to it. Let me see if I can find it. The Sam promo of him when he was and where did I put that? Like here, let's see if we can kind of like compare these a little bit. I don't know if you're gonna actually be able to see it that well because of um the plastic on it, but you can kind of see in the background Hopkinsville goblins in this
Yeah,
kind of. I think this is the to use the words of the youth. I think this is a major glow up. I think that that looks way more menacing to me than the old Hopkinsville goblins. But again, I didn't really have a problem with the old artwork for them. I do think that, like I said, the new stuff makes these guys look way more menacing, way more of a threat. The other guys are kind of like playful and aloof almost in a way. These guys look like you don't want to see them. You don't want to meet them at night. Like so,
yeah, they're gonna f shit up.
leave it to the Australian.
I said it.
Um,
I didn't actually say the word. Come on, help me out here.
uh, Ben Senpai Ben says, I like that they kept the goblin with four arms. Must have liked the original design. Yeah, and to be honest with you, was it the Alpha one that had four arms, or did all Hopkinsville goblins have four arms? Because I honestly don't remember every artwork of them having the four arms.
I'm pretty sure the original one did. I think it was just because it was all white. Maybe you didn't pick up on it, but I feel like they always had forearms.
Ben says it does look eerily similar to Brain from Pinky and the Brain, though, and he said they all did have the four arms. Okay, cool. Because like even looking at this artwork right here, the one I was just showing you, it's kind of hard. Like some of them, it's really easy to tell that it has the four arms, but like the other ones, like some of them, they only look like they only have two. So that's something that I actually didn't know that all of the goblins actually had four arms. The last one on this page, though, do you know what that one is before I say it?
That is the Easter Bunny.
No, it is the jackalope. The jackalope was one of the cryptids that was actually on the art print as well too. It's interesting to me, and I'd like to point this out. If you look underneath the eye, you can actually see some sort of a symbol. The jackalope on the Christmas print had that same symbol underneath it, so that tells me that that is a new addition to the jackalope. Um, and again, I want to know what the rest of the surrounding environment is here. I want to. I mean, it looks like there might be like some trees, and I'm assuming that might be like a mountain or something behind it. But again, the one thing that I have absolutely loved with all of these art reveals that we've seen is the environment that the cryptid is in. And so that's one of the things I get really excited about is it's the detail. Like we started getting very detailed backgrounds, in my opinion. I said it last time, probably about around like native, maybe some in UFO, a little bit in seance, but definitely in native. And that is one thing that I absolutely love about what we're seeing with this new stuff is every single piece of artwork tells a story. There's something going on in the background with it. So again, the jackalope, I want to see what's going on over there. The last two we have though, before we get into the other art leak, the dragon, I have no idea. There is a thunder dragon, I believe that is there's Thunder Dragon lore. I looked up some of it the other day from some of the Baltic countries, but nothing really seemed to fit with it. So we're gonna have to wait to get more information on that because honestly, all we see right there is a dragon, and it looks like it's about to breathe out electricity, but we're not sure.
I like I like dragons. I'm down.
Everybody likes dragons, my dude. And that's there's so much dragon lore from across the entirety of the planet that I like that they're actually incorporating because some people would consider some of these dragons to be fantasy, but there are tons, and I mean tons of mythological cryptid-esque creatures that would be considered dragons, especially in Asia. Like there are tons. So like I love that they're kind of embracing some more of the like again worldwide mythical mythos
Yeah.
instead of just again focusing more on North America. The last one is of course Sun Wukong. We can see um, is another interesting take on him as well. It's a little bit honestly, it's clearer than what the box art is, but it does look like here he looks, and to my opinion, he looks older than what the box art from the booster box actually uh, showed us. So I don't know. Again, there's a lot of stuff going on behind him. There's a lot. I mean, that is probably a picture that's full of detail behind it. That's Sun Wukong.
Yeah.
The others were grandson Wukong. You're talking about the four. He's just that. There's just an entire Wukong army, isn't there? TMX. I love
That
it.
actually makes sense. It does make sense.
I don't know if
Good job.
I don't know if in the story because like that was actually one thing that I've started working on is I had a couple people ask actually for like a in-depth background story on Sun Wukong. That's something I started working on. As far as I can tell, I don't know if he actually had any like named kids or grandkids or anything like that. Like I don't know. I gotta keep digging. Um. So the last five things I want to show, these have not been confirmed to actually be MetaZoo leaks, but this would be, I would consider the first leak, not spoil, of artwork. These were posted in one of the MetaZoo discords. Nothing has been retracted. Nothing's been said. Hey, this isn't us or anything like that. So I'm going ahead and actually being like, okay, cool. This is artwork that shouldn't have been spoiled, shouldn't have been seen, but it was somehow snatched in order to be able to actually go out there. And I've seen it, like I said, pop up in a couple different discords. What's up, Zells? So the first one is honestly, it looks like it is a variation maybe of that first PF or that Wukong PFP that you see up there on your top right, and that is this.
Yes.
Ah, I mean, I'm like that's ridiculous. That's crazy. Um, it actually shows uh Wukong again. Those look like they're other Wukongs behind it. So like I don't know. I don't know like the story, the lightning behind it, along with like the storm that they're going through. Like it's I don't know. I don't know TMX is that the fire chicken because Adavarus actually looks different than that Phoenix unless it glows up to it. But I don't know.
Oh my god! I
Wukong
just
can
got the new
shapeshift
artwork.
and turn into multiple Wukongs. Really? Okay, I
It's
did not know
the
that.
Fire Drake, and it's drawn by Victor Larson.
Get out! What is it like?
Yeah,
Actual real new like new art?
it's on their Instagram.
Oh no! All right, I gotta wait for them to put it on the Discord and then I'll actually snag it. All right, well let's go through these five and then hopefully in 8 minutes we can actually post that and show the fire dragon.
I'm gonna
But
send it
yeah,
to you.
the okay, yeah, nice. The I love again I love the story that this is actually that they're actually telling with this right here. Um, the next one, this is what Hopkinsville Goblin. The oh god, what is oh my god, it was one of the staples in the fire decks. Explosive Rabbit,
Isn't that
maybe,
Explosive Rabbit? Yeah.
just because of the fire tail, and I think that's Golden Bear behind it, but I don't know. That's just theory. Um, but yeah, no, that's another really kind of cool one right there. Um, actually, I don't know why Golden Bear is chasing them for whatever reason, but it looks like he is terrifying the two of them. This next one I actually really like. This is Snallygaster,
Snally.
like Snallygaster stealing pigs from a farm. And it's like the farmer's in the background, like, what you doing over there, Snallygaster? Are you taking those things? And I love it. I think it's great. Um, the pig's expression, it reminds me of Invader Zim. Like it reminds me of like a combination of Invader Zim and Courage the Cowardly Dog. Um, I just from seeing this image right here, I can actually see an entire like little short being made just about Snallygaster stealing farm animals. Um, I thought that was great. This right here is probably honestly, I don't know. The last one's probably my favorite to be honest. This one I absolutely love though because we get our first really good look at Bigfoot along with again like I was saying somebody was talking about before about like being able to see the facial expressions of Bigfoot. This is a really good example of being able to really show those facial expressions now that he doesn't have fur all over his face. The other
Totally.
really big thing is that this confirms Van Meter.
Yeah.
Um,
Which is a bit of a fan favorite as well, right? People froth Van Meter.
it, yeah, I wouldn't say it's probably top 10. It probably is, I would say, top 10 like known cryptids in North
Yeah.
America. But it definitely does have its fan base. It definitely shows that at some point we're going to get other beasties, cryptids that we would have considered cosmic back in the day, because that's what Van Meter was. Um, but I don't know if we're gonna have a cosmic aura. At least we're not gonna have one for a bit because like we won't get a new aura until set two. But I know every other set that comes out, they're going to introduce new auras. I
Yeah.
don't know though. Like I said, I don't know if we'll see Van Meter now or if we'll see them later. I don't know what they're going to do with the alien cryptid, but this gives me hope that they will be involved somehow.
Yeah.
TMX Van Meter is not my favorite. You prefer the older version. I still have the playtester one, Onyx, the one that you pulled me actually. Like you pull. No, wait. How did I get that playtester one? Was it from one of your pool games?
That was from Maddie's Tower, I think.
Yeah, I still have the Van Meter one. And to be honest with you, I still love that artwork, the original Van Meter artwork. I'm interested to see how they expand on that character. I will say that I probably prefer the older UFO one to that artwork of Van Meter, but there's so much possibility and potential with that cryptid specifically that I'm really excited to see where they go in with the future with it. This last one though, that that is just crazy to me.
You don't even need to
Um,
say anything. You just need to look at it.
well, I'm gonna let you talk real quick. I'm gonna see if I can actually snag that image that you sent.
I just Mothman is just so iconic in so many different ways. Even like over here on the other side of the world, like it just I think it's probably the movie that helps it down here. But
Oh, the Mothman Chronicles.
yeah, I think whenever they've got artwork like that though, where he's shooting the laser from his eyes, it's like very iconic. Like it was like the Revive artwork and the Nightfall artwork. I always preferred those Mothman artworks myself. I loved it
It
when he had the laser beams going.
again, it reminds me of the Nightfall one, in a combination with the moth that we actually saw in the original comic, along with the Mothman that we actually saw in the Topps Chrome.
Yeah.
Like it's it also, and this is another really big thing too. This is the first time we've actually seen interaction between the cryptids and the world. Most of
Mhm.
the stuff that we've seen, I mean, maybe the Metal Man one, just because the Metal Man one actually showed all of the computer screens behind it with the ding bell. But
Yeah.
this is the first time we've actually seen a cryptid interacting and attacking or whatever, anything to do with the quote unquote world. Bubbaluga, I don't know. That's the thing. These past five artworks that we showed, I don't know how they were taken. Somehow they were taken off, I guess, the website, even though the website isn't fully functioning, working, or anything. And they were shared in a couple different discords. MetaZoo has not come out and actually said these are not artworks. There's nothing to do with us. So I'm assuming that these are artwork that maybe not might not be cards. It could actually be some sort of art that was used. There's going to be used maybe for like banners at conventions or like the stuff that might be on like the rule book. Like I don't know. Like it's just
Yeah.
artwork that yes, it was leaked though. This is something that was not officially put out by or officially spoiled by MetaZoo. This was leaked. First time, honestly, this actually happened since they took over. But oh, I got okay. So I did get it uploaded. Oh, that does look sick. I can't read it though. Oh, it's too small for me to read.
It
Post it
says
on.
it says it says this Drake can't rap, but we assure you that the Fire Drake can spit some serious heat. A famous cryptid from classic mythology, drakes have been described as a four-legged, wingless dragon or simply a small or young dragon. The distinction probably isn't too important when you're about to be roasted, though. Incendiary artwork drawn by Victor Larson.
Huh, that is interesting. That's interesting that Larson's actually doing art for MetaZoo again, especially since he has
Yeah,
the Nom
Tanzania.
Nom thing going on.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's insane. Um, I'll I'll be honest. It's probably my least favorite out of what they've actually shown. I do like though how it does really because I got to lean close to it in order to see it because of how small it is. It does honestly remind me though of a lot of the Kickstarter art. Like it's that type of art. It seems like, which is a
yeah.
really cool kind of callback to the origins of MetaZoo itself. I'm going to look that dude up now. Oh, nice! I get to actually add something else. I'm working on a video right now going over the history of like Raiju and other stuff like that. So I'm going to have to throw that guy in there now too, and actually figure out exactly what it is. Look at that! live art reveal while we're doing the stream. They post stuff. I love it. Um, but yeah, out here. I know that Boba actually was here, so I'm gonna go through these real quick again. These are the five artworks that were found on the Discord that I'm assuming somehow were taken from the website. I don't know how to do any of that stuff, but this stuff was found in a couple different Discords. The baby.
Yeah, I gotta go.
All right, my dude. Have a wonderful day. We hit our hour mark. We were going to sign off anyways. It's pretty much all we have. Um, honestly, you could feel free to leave. The last thing I want to actually say though is um, I wanted to actually thank the community at large. I know that a lot of people have high emotions because of everything that's going on right now with retro zoo and new zoo and the melding of the old stuff with the new stuff and the old community with the new community that's actually forming right now as we speak. And we talked actually in a couple different discords about like the rhetoric that was being used and the type of attacks. I don't want to say attacks, but the type of rhetoric, the type of um, stuff that was being talked about in the main MetaZoo Discord. And I want to thank the community because after we kind of talked about that in a couple different Discords, I've noticed a huge shift in mentality and the positivity actually coming in with the older community. And that needs to be addressed and needs to be acknowledged because you guys honestly are the reason why we do what we do. You guys are the thing that you're the reason that actually we've made content, that we push this stuff, that we talk about this stuff. And I don't want anyone from the old community to ever feel like they're being excluded because no one at all in any way is trying to exclude you. We just have to adapt to what is here now. And from what I've seen, the changes that MetaZoo has made in regards to the MetaZoo IP, the MetaZoo game, everything like that, I am actually in favor of. I think that with them doing these things, it will have a broader reach. We will bring in a lot more people to this community. And one of the main communications tools right now is the Discord. And so when you have new people coming into the game, coming into the community, and they come to that Discord, and a lot of times the first thing they see is negativity, it probably is going to turn them off and they're not going to actually continue. But even if you don't like certain things, because there's stuff that I honestly, some of the artwork that I don't personally like, but even if you don't like it, you don't have to like. I appreciate people not ragging on it anymore. I appreciate people actually being respectful. You guys are awesome. You guys are amazing, and I just like I said, that needed to actually be said. That needed to be spoken because I don't know if if it's said enough. And one of the big things is if we want Retro Zoo to stay relevant and exist and our stuff to actually not be worth zero, we need M2 to succeed. Like M2 needs us and we need them. And we need to actually work together moving forward in order to include as many people as we can into this wonderful, amazing universe and community. Because again, we wouldn't be doing any of this without you guys. So I wanted to end it on that because I'm like I said I'm very impressed with how received that was over this last week, and I wanted to thank everybody literally from me personally, like thank you. Um, we're gonna have good things. We're gonna This year is the year of the zoo, and I can't wait to see 2 months, 6 months, a year where we are, what we're doing, what we have, and I'm just stoked. But yeah, my name is Turmentic, and this is pretty much everything that's gone on the last week. Anything you'd like to end on before you have to go get ready for work, my friend?
No.
I love you so much. All right,
Uh, ugh.
yeah, that's it. That's all I got. You
That's
guys have a
it.
wonderful week. Stay frosty. I guess is I don't know. I've never said that before in the broadcast, so who knows? Um,
Stay frosty. Stay frosty.
but yeah, I hope everybody has a good week. I'll see you guys in the Discord, and again, I'll post that picture of the Jersey Devil on Instagram so everybody can check it out from Jet Yates. But thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
You.
Later.